Hello. Originally, I was going to give you some grand intro, but now I'm not, because it turned out to be 1+ minute, and that's not how you keep retention on this platform. So, I'm just going to give you a short little intro that was recorded a month ago. These characters won't be in the video because I simply don't have them maxed out. And these guys won't be in the video because just figure it out, honestly, I think you've got it. So how do people segue these things? Do they just— Littletale Sans, one of the few— well, I wouldn't say few characters to take less than 2 brain cells to play. For the first tip of this video, I'm gonna say use Blue Soul plus Bone Throw plus Bone Wall because it'll be able to get you some nice startup damage. Due to enemies trying to dodge the Bone Wall and Bone Throw at the same time, they're either gonna get hit by the Bone Throw by standing still due to the Bone Wall, or get hit by the Bone Wall because they're moving out of the way of the bones, unable to jump. Blue Soul is your best friend due to the fact it'll help you outspeed the Karas and help them get into your attacks. It'll make them go into your attacks much easier. It's very well known that you're able to outspeed the Kara by using Blue Soul and Candy, but make sure you watch for the weapons that the Karas have, as they might be able to outpace you anyway. Weapons like Spear, Fresh Bat, or the one we don't talk about, may be able to catch up to you easier with Blue Soul on. Also make sure to watch out for weapons like Backbone or Burnt Pan, as they'll be able to cleanse their teammates of your Blue Soul, and you don't want that, you really don't want that. Try to group your damage together by pushing the Karas together with Bone Zones or Blaster attacks so you can hit them with your Bone Wall, Blue Soul, and Bone Throw combo. Or, like, just your Bone Throw, you know. Don't use Force if your Blue Soul is active due to the global cool— Dude, this tip sucks. Here's a better one. Play defensively. Just camp in all of your attacks, and while you're inside of your attacks, probably Bone Zone. Just use Bone Throw. Bone Throw. Pacifist Sans, the one low-wind character I actually like. He's my needle in the haystack. Alright, starting off our tips here, you can overcharge your stamina, in quotes, with your ketchup. By that I mean you can keep your stamina over the maximum, which when you move, it retains your stamina rate. So if you need to relocate and you have ketchup and max stamina, you make sure you use your ketchup and then walk around before your stamina goes under maximum so you can keep your stamina rate. I hope that makes sense. Try to wait until a car is right on top of you, then use Blue Soul plus Bone Zone, so they'll panic and you can use your other attacks on them while they're trying to get out of the way of the Bone Zone. When the Karas are Blue Soul, try to use your Blaster and pivot around the beam so they can't get to you. This is because they turn into little babies with knives when you use Blue Soul, because they can't jump, they're gonna have to pivot around the Blaster just to crawl after you. Instead of at the very beginning of the round using your Bone Walls, try to use them when the Karas are near you, because it'll add pressure while you use your other attacks. Because if a Kara is trying to dodge your Bone Throw, they might not notice the Bone Wall and will get damaged by that anyway. And if a blue Bone Wall spawns, they'll try to stand still and you'll be able to attack them while they're doing that. Your map makes it a bit harder to see your Bone Throw, so if the enemies aren't directly paying attention to you or they're slightly distracted, use your Bone Throw on them to get some extra damage in. Science Sans. This character's mains have RNG being pumped directly into their bloodstream or else they'll die. Alright, tip 1. This is a little irrelevant due to the fact that the ability doesn't work, but don't use MTT bots. They are the worst ability in the game, and I will say that with a passion. I will confidently say MTT bots are the worst ability in the game, just due to the fact that they barely hit, like, at all. Much worse than Upgrade 0 Little Sans' Blaster or Bone Throw, due to the fact that they can spawn at any point of the map. If the MTT bot spawns far away from a Kara, well, you're out of luck, because the ability won't hit no matter how much you hope or pray. Speaking of RNG attacks, don't use Telecommand at the beginning of the round, because sure, you could get the one good Blaster variation, but you could also get the Force Field, and what good is that going to get you besides a waste of stamina? Do not ever leave your side of the map, alright? I've seen max Science Sanses do this because they want to play aggressive for some reason, but laser walls are your main carrying point. Science Sanse's main gimmick is keeping cars away from him so he can wait for his stronger attacks as cooldowns to end, and without laser walls that's pretty much impossible. And if you're on the other side of the map, laser walls aren't going to do you much good. Try to get cars in a bad spot with your flasks. When I say that, try to jump when they're near you and place a flask behind them, because they'll either be forced into that corner with you, or they'll be hit by it trying to get away. If you see a white laser wall about to hit a Kara, try to predict where they're going to go with your blasters so you can get some free damage in. Good lord, I hate this character. Buff Ice Sense. Papyrus, the character that bone jumps more than a— Ooh, I can't say that, no. Anyway, use Bone Throw and Side Bones at the beginning of the round because 9 times out of 10, people without something to counter it will get hit by it. Try to memorize where your Bone Gap opens and closes so you can camp the spots where it opens, so the cars will be afraid to approach that spot. Use Great Leap offensively only if you're 100% confident you have them in a good spot. Also, use Blue Soul just so you have a better chance of hitting them with it. Use Bone Wave on overconfident cars because 9 times out of 10, I already said 9 times out of 10, they'll run into the Bone Zone along with you. But don't use your Bone Wave for camping unless they have Blue Soul. Use Pacifist Sands' Blaster Pivot Tech with the Blue Soul because, you know, they won't be able to hit you. Little babies with knives. Blue babies with knives, sorry. And for tip 5, I don't have a 5th tip on my Google document. Next character. Negatale. I had to re-record this guy's name like 20 times just so it didn't sound like a certain word I'm not allowed to say. Tip 1. Don't use this guy. Not sure if you heard of this little group of developers called Nintendo, but it was pretty nice of Toby Fox himself to let them use Sands in their little indie game. Make sure you use your attacks like Bone Wave and Bone Throw up close so the card team has a less amount of time to react to it. Dunk's aerial variant has a much larger hitbox than a non-aerial variant. You always throw the Kara you hit with Force Rush to the right. This is obvious, but it's pretty good for combos, and it's a good thing to remember in general. Try to overwhelm the Kara team with other attacks to the point where they're predictable and where they're moving so you can hit them with your Bone Zone. Or just, you know, use it on your feet like most Sands users do. Bone Wave's recent patch to end when it hits a Kara but flings them up when it does so makes it so it's easier to combo with other attacks. Keep that in mind. Now I really don't think Phase 2 needs any tips, but I need to extend this runtime somehow, man. I'm gonna read this one directly off the document here. Your Marrow Strike and Calcium Cascade can't be used while your Gaster Blasters' Auto Blasters are firing, but can be used before. So try to save your blasters for when the other moves are on cooldown. Your Marrow Strike is good for Your Marrow Strike is... Okay, the scripts were right in front of me and I forgot what I was gonna say. Your Marrow Strike is good for getting away from people as it teleports you to the Your Marrow Strike is good for getting away from people as it teleports you to the furthest Kara from you. You can combine this with Force Rush to nearly effectively get Karas away from you. If you're stuck between Karas, use Calcium Cascade or run into your Bone Wave to possibly deal damage to Karas who are you get it. While your auto blasters are firing, try to target the cars that are focused on your blasters so you can deal more damage. Blue Burst is the best time dilation move. You can fight me on that, I'm right. No matter what you say, I'm right. This guy right here, the skeleton right here, he decided to lag my computer to the extremes, so you're gonna have to deal with that gameplay. The key thing you're gonna be doing as Underswap Phase 1 is corner camping and using your Bone Wave. Any aggressive cars that try to rush you will get trapped in the corner with you if you're lucky. I'm just gonna double up on tips 2 and 5 here to save time. Orange Soul's Bone Throw slowly decays over time, and what I mean by that, it bounces when it hits the ground where the cars are, and some despawn when they do that. And also, Orange Soul's Bone Rain goes 4 to 5 tiles in front of you, so just keep that in mind. This one's a tiny bit wonky, but Bone Stomp flings the car back in the direction the bone is pointing, so try to use that to your advantage. Orange Soul freezes your stamina rate, so don't use it when you've been moving for a while, but if you need to move after standing still, use it so you don't lose your stamina rate. Okay, like I'm about to fill up, so like, I'm gonna put Underswap Phase 2's tips on the screen, and you can just pause to read, alright? Alrighty, Outer Sands. I feel much better, thank you for asking. Aim your blasters up high so the cars can't jump over it, and if they're on the other side of you, you can just walk through the blasters. Use Asteroid to block off certain parts of the map and to lure cars into your attacks because they'll be trying to run away from the asteroid. Use Spinning Stars on the center of a group of cars and then use Big Stars in the direction they're going in order to increase pressure. When your Falling Bones are active, use attacks like Stars so the cars have a less amount of chance of actually noticing the warnings on Falling Bones. If a car is hard rushing you and you can tell they're about to attack you direct on, just try to jump because you have a higher jumping power than most Sanses. I forgot to put this on the list in the beginning of the video, but I'm not giving tips for Outer Phase 2. I think you know why. Fellswap. I don't like this guy. I'm gonna be fair, I don't like this guy too much. Use collarbones when the cars are close to you instead of the start of the round, because they'll be much useful when the cars are actually trying to dodge your attacks and a blue bone comes from them at the behind. Does that sound bad? Come from them at the behind? For some reason your force is stronger than others, so keep it for when you're either low on stamina or you're in a bad spot with your cooldowns. Or, you know, just combo it with chained. Hi, Wankahh. Try to keep cars away with attacks like Bone Zone and Bone Throw so you can wait for Chain to come off cooldown, because that's like the core of your moveset, you know, everybody uses it, that's what he's known for, Chained. Try to use Chained on a car that's mid-range from you while one is close to you in order to group damage together with your Bone Zone, Blasters, or Bone Throw. Try to use your Bone Zone as a zone or a type attack. When I say that, I mean when a car is on the right side of the map, try to use your Bone Zone, you can force them into that corner a little bit more so you can hit your Blasters. Use your Blaster Slam to scare cars away, and if they get too close, confirm the damage with Chained if you really have to. Try to wait for your Bone Walls to come in so you can combo them with your stronger attacks to deal at least a little bit damage, or if they focus on the Bone Walls for some reason, a lot of damage. Try to set up combos using your Chained and Force attacks. If you want to learn how to do that, just watch Wankahh. Whoa, who said that? Whoa, what happened? Going off the previous tip, you can shake your camera quickly to have a higher chance of hitting your Chained. Use Force to guarantee your damage, like through the Chained Blaster. Last Breath Phase 1, I'm just gonna rapid fire these, alright? Just use the attacks 3, 4, and 5 at the beginning of the round. When your opponents are distracted by the attacks listed before, use your blasters. Use your bones and kite along them when you while you wait for your attacks to go off cooldown. Try to wait until your 3, 4, and 5 attacks are off cooldown and use them all at the same time. Don't use Force, it's not worth the 10 stamina. Boom, next character, Skadoosh. Okay, oh, Disbelief. This is a very long-ass tip, so I'm just gonna read it off the document. Don't get overwhelmed, as you have many options to escape the Karas. Use your Spinning Bone if there's a group coming at you, or use your Bone Dash if there's one. While you gain your distance using either of these, use your Blasters. Use Collarbones and Interstellar Retribution at the same time just to create minor distractions, so you can either wait on cooldowns or use more of your direct attacks. If you use block right before a Kara hits you, you get a repel, so don't try to use block early. If you shift your attention to another Kara, don't make it too obvious, because you can spin around and then use Bone Dash on them so they don't expect it. If a Kara is walking towards you and you have the guard bones from Spinning Bone around you, just try walking into them to catch them off guard, only if your Bone Dash is off cooldown. Alright, phase 2, I'm just gonna say it now, just try to target one Kara, because you're more than likely not gonna get a kill in this phase. Use Bone Dash and Blink to keep yourself away from cards. Just spam, okay? Just spam. Get to the next phase, win. Alright, Distrust. I'm really happy they're not giving this guy 4 phases, because we don't need 2 of those characters in this game. Use your colored Bone Wall at the start of the round, as it allows Karas who spawn on the left side of the corridor to gain instant damage, and it allows for your blasters to be somewhat hidden behind the colored Bone Wall. Why did I say, like, gain instant damage? Like, that's a good thing for them. Make sure you use your block to force Karas into bad positions. By bad positions, I mean like directly into your attacks, because that's what 90% of these guys as players do anyway. Keep pressure on the Kara team by spamming your Gaster Blasters and either deal chip damage to them or make them run into your other attacks. This character sucks so much. This tip sucks, oh my god. Do your best to keep Karas to the side of the map, whether it be with attacks like Spin Bones or pressuring them with your bones and blasters. Play defensively with this guy because your health carries over to phase 2. Just play fast-paced and spam your block. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. First it was Science with the campy playstyle, yet having an intense theme, and now it's Swapdust. Well, for Swapdust, there's one crucial tip to him. Listen close. Camp. Team switched Papyrus. I told you I would leave Dust Sands at the end. Honestly, with this character, I would just say force them into your bone zone with their block, but I gotta feed myself, so I gotta pull stuff out of my ass. Use attacks like Bone Throw and Dog Throw when cars are far away, but save your map attacks for when they're close, because it's always better to use them when they're close to you, because they'll be distracted by that, and then you can use attacks that have more chip damage like Bone Throw or Dog Throw. Make sure you keep cars close to your end of the hall so they have a less amount of time to react to your map attacks. This will also make them squirm to get out of your side, so pay attention for when they're doing that so you can use other attacks when they're running away. On the topic of keeping Karas in one spot, attacks like the blue spinning bone, bone zone, and in some situations, bone throw will help you out with that. This one should be obvious, but I probably ran out of ideas when I was writing Team Switch's tips, so just try to use dog throw when the Karas are together. Fellswap Emerald. I really don't have anything to say about this guy except he's getting benched harder in the casino update than some guy I found on a volleyball subreddit. Memorize your blaster status so when you have the big blasters next, aim towards the end wall so it's a lot harder to dodge. By blaster status, I mean the small blaster, small dual blaster, then big dual blaster. When you're using Bone Trap, don't cash in all of your chips on the hole in the center bone zone. Make sure you prepare yourself for either one. Wait to use your auto aim blasters for when every Kara is hunched together on your side of the map and trying to dodge other attacks like your spinning bones, so you can make it harder or even sneak in some damage. Fellswap Emerald is a bit more oh, I'm not reading all of that, and I'm just gonna put that on the screen. For some reason, people really don't expect the bone throw from the bone zone, so use that to your advantage. Alright, Horror Sands. So for... Oh, wait, I'm getting a call. Hang on. Yeah, hello? That's the one? We're gonna have to be right back. Aftertale Sands. This guy was so bad with KR that they had to make it his base because nobody would use his upgrades. Take advantage of Karas rushing towards you by using your blasters on top of you. If they're not running away after you do that, use your bone circle. Only use your tracking bones if the enemy team is close to each other or you have the determination variant ready. If you can tell your team is less experienced, use your bone throw and walk into it. I have this in all caps. Don't use determination on any other attack besides the tracking bones. Also, right underneath that, with no reasoning onto why, don't use save. I would assume it's because it's a waste of stamina and somebody will be camping your point, but I didn't bother writing it down, so who knows. Revenge Papyrus. Half, get out of here, I know you're here. Make sure you start off the round by wasting your bone throw just so you can get the better variant for when the Karas are close. Use your bomb attack to divide and pick off Karas, as you might be able to get them in a smaller quadrant and use attacks like your bone wave. People are much more wary of your parry when you're standing still. Try to move around or seem like you're not paying attention to a certain Kara that's approaching you in order to trick them into hitting your counter. Treat your collarbones like disbeliefs in order to increase pressure on the Kara team. Try to use it at the beginning of the round or when they're close to you. Do your best to target not wary or just bad at the game Kara team members so you can charge up your bar. Also try to save supports for last because they can heal their teammates and give you more of your bar percentage. Storyshift Kara. I really don't know how to play them, so I just used my Call a Friend card I got myself for this video and called Ease. They have 300,000 Storyshift Kara EXP, so they know what they're doing. Use Chaos Buster as a melee option instead of a range option. You can still shoot people with it, but try to aim the Chaos Buster itself so the stars hit people. Papyrus Memory is your best combo tool. Papyrus, Chaos Buster, Knife Row. Sands Papyrus, Double Papyrus, to name a few. Only use Knife Throw to punish people who jump. If you predict a jump with a Knife Throw, they kinda just take 20 damage and it's fairly easy to predict someone jumping over a failed side slash. Don't do the Toriel Memory and Sands Memory combo, they don't work against any competent player. Just do the Sands and Papyrus Memory combo. You can hide in the knife surround and air side slashes to jump scare people with the red circle. Also, they want me to mention that Storyshift Kara is pretty good at one-shotting determination players that are attempting to revive. Also, I didn't ask for any phase 2 tips, so like... yeah. Fresh Sands. I'm gonna rapid fire every one of these because they're all one sentence on my document. 1. Start off the game using your Bone Throw, Furby, and Blaster attack. 2. Hold out your bat at all times in order to make the Karas uneasy about approaching you. 3. Only use your Disco Ball when the enemies are close. 4. Camp near the wall just so the enemies have a more predictable path so your bat is more effective. 5. Try to play aggressive with Fresh so your map attacks aren't at the front of the Kara teams' minds. Bonk! Epic Sands! Just read the wiki. I don't like this guy. Just read the wiki. Sixbones. I really kinda tolerate this guy, honestly. I was gonna say something derogatory, but then I realized I don't really dislike him. These guys get 9 tips, because each phase will get 1 tip, but the last one will get 5, just to make it fair. For the first Sixbones phase, just try to camp in your attacks while going on the aggressive. For every man, just try to use your attacks up close, especially your butterflies. Memory head, spam but camp inside your little eye attack so people with things like determination will be more scared to approach you. The dog thing, I don't know their name. Go towards the Kara team so your attacks have a greater effect, but make sure you go back to your side of the map around the 420 mark. Back at Sixbones. Stay on your side of the map and try to pressure Karas into your attacks by decreasing the amount of land they have with your blaster. Stay on the aggressive with your camping. Try not to spam your attacks because of lag, trust me, that's a real game killer. Keep using your Bone Puddle and Bone Zone attacks in order to apply pressure on the Kara team, and use your Bone Swarm to keep the Karas farther away from you if they aren't phased by the Bone Puddle. Sansta, this guy kinda triumphs over Littletale in terms of cuteness, I won't lie here. Blizzard is quite literally your best friend. If you're good on stamina, try to snipe far away Karas with your blasters, as 1, they could assume a teammate who is closer to the target, and 2, they quite literally cannot see your attack. If you're bad on stamina, use the charge up variant of Snow Wave and then use Blizzard for the increased stamina regeneration. Use Snowballs and Kara team members who are currently affected by the cold effect and are trying to approach you. Don't forget you can charge up this ability, I didn't know that while writing this. Use your Present Rush whenever it's off cooldown. This is because with the slowness you put on Karas, they will always be near you. Leeching off the previous tip, but keep your enemies close to you as Sansta isn't the most far-ranged character out there. Keep Karas on their toes with Bone Zone and Bone Throw. Ice Sands. For some reason the developers really don't like this guy, which sucks because I do. Try to keep Karas close to you, as that's how you'll be getting a lot of your damage. This includes attacks such as Bone Throw and Ice Zone. Also, try to pivot around your Ice Bone pool. Try to start the round with your blasters and icicle throws, along with falling bones. Do not try to go for Sub-Zero finishes unless you know somebody has determination ready and charged up. While playing Ice Sands, it's important to count their determination. Whenever you're near a wall, try to aim your blasters near yourself if someone is approaching you to get surprise damage, as anywhere the blasters spawn is a good spot due to the enemy essentially walking right towards you. You may even get the bonus of the blasters spawning outside a wall. This is obvious, but make Kara team members who can cleanse their allies the forefront of your mind so your Sub-Zero actually has an effect. Horrorfell. Last but certainly least. 1. Pivot around your bear trap. 2. Use your bone zones to apply pressure onto the Kara team. 3. Every second a Kara isn't near you, try to use your cleavers. 4. If your cleaver is on cooldown, use your spike wave. 5. Try to keep your cleaver out in order to intimidate the Karas, just like Fresh Sands. Alright, we're done. Okay, I forgot I had Dust Sands. Waterfall Dust. This guy really doesn't need any tips, but I needed a reason for people to watch to the end. Use your bullet type attacks after you land a counter because of the temporary kill you get from it. By bullet attacks, I mean the bone throw or bone spears or whatever else he has, I can't remember. Use your green soul on high health enemies and turn your direction towards the lower health enemy so you could get kills off of them. Try to keep Karas together, whether it be through bone spears, the green soul projectile, or memory blasters, as a good amount of your attacks are better when the enemy team is bunched together. Use blink when you're at your highest possible stamina regeneration rate, as you can stand still until they're near you and then be far away from them once again while regenerating stamina rapidly. Do not use all of your attacks at the same time, you will get jumped.